Well, guys, I figured I'd give you some sort of update on this. I ended up pulling that old tecumseh motor off of it. It finally gave up the ghost. It had a bunch of oil leaks and really just wasn't worth fixing. Had a lot more problems than the oil leaks, even though I had gotten it running good enough to use anyways. So now I'm at the point where I'm trying to find a suitable replacement for it. I called Sears directly for the newer version of this, which has a Briggs motor on it, because I figured that that Briggs motor should be a more or less direct replacement for it, considering it's still pretty much the same thing. Well, they ended up getting back to me, and that new motor from Sears Parts Direct is $330. So I don't really want to spend that much on this thing, even though my dad is giving me the money to fix it up and everything and get it running right, because he has decided that he wants it for out here. So I'm trying to fix this again the easiest way possible, and that's swapping in one of these motors. Now the big problem I'm going to have is finding one with the correct crankshaft size and one that will also accept this pulley. This is a brand new pulley because I had to buy a new one. I had messed up the old one pretty bad that was on the tecumseh motor, and it was seized up and it was not coming off. So that's kind of where I am with that. So I have to find a motor that has the correct shaft diameter as well as the correct length. This thing there should only be in between the block and the bottom, or top I should say, of the pulley, about an inch worth of space. That's what you need to be able to route the belt to it correctly. And hopefully whatever motor that I get that I put on it has that correct sizing and spacing for that belt. So that's what I'm dealing with right now. This has the correct shaft size, and it also appears that the shaft size is the correct length to be able to accept this. I haven't verified that, and I won't know that for sure until I get whatever motor to put onto this thing installed onto it, and then with the pulley on, hopefully everything works well. So I know that this one works, at least as far as the sizing goes, to accept this. And then this one here, this Honda, which I would much rather install this one over that one. This one might actually have a shaft length that's just a little too long. So we'll have to see about that and see where we can go with it. But I don't even know the correct diameter size that this one has, if it'll even accept this or not. I'm going to start attacking this thing and see what I can do with it. Well, so here it is. I was able to get the pulleys off. This was the hardest part. This is actually a two-piece pulley here for the self-propelled, but we're not going to need that anymore. The new pulley seems to fit on it just fine. It's got a keyway inside. Doesn't do anything with these two. It's just this way right here. So with it on all the way, it doesn't appear that that is the correct length. However, I will not know that for sure until I get it installed on this thing. Probably the next step is to go ahead and just put it on dry, maybe fish a couple bolts through it and see just where exactly we line up. Because really the only way that I will be able to rectify this is to put some washers underneath here if the motor is sitting too low and it's not able to get around the belt properly. So that'll be kind of fun. I don't even know the actual health of this motor. I'm assuming it's okay. It does have compression, so you know, it should, a little bit of a carb cleaning and some other small things, I should be able to get it going again. However, it's always kind of fun when you're messing around with this type of stuff. So we have good news so far. It appears that the belt seems to line up almost perfectly. And I say almost because, you know, margin for error, that kind of thing. So I'm going to do my best to reroute it. I might have to take this damn flap off. I might have to take this flap off here, but hopefully I won't need to. We'll see where exactly we're at, because I have to take the pulley off in order to get the belt on. Probably the easiest way to do that is kind of fish it on first. Let's see where exactly we line up. And we're looking good. We're looking really good, boys. This is great news. As I said, I haven't even diagnosed this motor yet because the mower that it came off of didn't have a bag, so I didn't even bother with it. And there is a lock washer on this bolt. So I'm just going to go ahead and lock it down and see just where we're at. So now that the belt is on and routed, this thing is going to need a full cleaning. It's no surprise there. That old motor just leaked all over on it. That's why it's just so dirty and messy right now. So now I'm going to go ahead and flip it right side up and see just what we can do. Now, being that this thing is from a lawnmower, the first issue of business I'm going to have to take care of here is with the blade control system, which is essentially useless now. We don't really need that. So what I'm probably going to go ahead and do with that is just lock the brake back just enough out of the way so it won't be a nuisance. This is the point that I'm at right now. It doesn't appear that I'm going to be able to use this manual throttle control. I don't think this motor is really set up for one of those. However, I will be looking a little more into that as time goes on. I might have one in the Horde that has a manual throttle control, so I might just go grab one of those if that's the case. But for the time being, I went ahead and locked this back. I started with a small zip tie and then put some mechanics wire around it, you know, aviation safety wire, tied off the pigtail. So this will at least allow me to start it and keep it running. But anyways, now I'm working on the carburetor, which is pretty dirty. As you guys can see, it's definitely seen some better days. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this thing up and reinstall it, and then we'll see if we can get it to fire. Thankfully, these are really easy to remove. It's just the 3 bolts on the top. You don't have to take any of the plastics off or anything. And there you have it. So let's see if we can sort this out. So unfortunately, this thing is pretty well gummed up, and it's just not wanting to go, so it's gummed up inside. Also, we have some good news. This is not the right motor. This motor right here, I just pulled off the old starter recoil that was on it. This is the one that was on that pressure washer that I picked up. And this is the one that was on the motor that I was just working on. I need to redo this one and, you know, clean it up and everything before I install that on something else. But we're in luck because, as you guys can see, this one has everything that it needs for a lawnmower use, lawnmower application, with the blade brake and everything. This Honda over here is set up for a pressure washer, so it's got its own built-in kill switch. So I won't even need to deal with, you know, just shutting the fuel off or bypassing the magneto. I can just pull this bracket off, hopefully, and stick it on. So you guys can see it's wired straight into the magneto right here. That line goes right down there to the switch. So I'll be swapping that out if I can get this thing working. So let's go ahead and spray some starting fluid into it, and then we'll see what happens. That's good. So now that I know this thing works, at least kicks over, I'll go ahead and pull that other bracket off, get rid of this blade brake unit, and we'll be on our way. So I have the air filter box off that other motor. The air filter that's in it is actually in really good shape, so I'll be using that. And then this is the manual shutoff assembly. So you can see there's the line that goes directly into the gas tank. There's the shutoff switch. And there's that line that goes up here into the magneto. So how you get that off, it's really easy. This is what I love about Hondas. 3 nuts, removes that, and then you can take off your top plastic. And now you have access to really everything that you need to. So now, since I have this off, I can go ahead and remove this, just flat out remove it, now that I know everything works good. And looks like it's going to be pretty much a direct swap. I'm just going to go ahead and disconnect this one, just like so. Pull that off, and as you can see, it goes all the way back to that little relay box right here. And that's what shuts everything off, it looks like. Actually, I might not even have to do that. I might just be able to get away with just taking the spring off. Alright, so now I'm going to have to switch over to this one too, because I guess I got a little carried away. And when I dropped this, the little nipple there at the bottom of the tank that the hose there hooks up to broke off. Thankfully, I've got 2 of these on hand, and this one actually will look a little bit nicer because it still has the decals on it. So that'll be okay. I'm gonna have to wait on this part a little bit, unfortunately. I don't have a puller big enough to remove the flywheel, and these flywheels are a little bit more tricky to remove compared to any old Briggs and Stratton lawnmower engines. So I'll have to put that on the back burner for just a little bit, but the good news is they're pretty easy to do. So all you got to do is just take that off and, you know, take the nut off there at the top, which I got to cinch that back down, and throw the puller on it and pull it off. I just, like I said, don't have a puller big enough. So this thing here has been completely disabled. How it's sitting right now, I'm just going to leave it. The brake is not contacting the motor at all, so I'm just not going to worry about it. But it looks like that bolt in there that holds this whole unit on here and up here needs to be removed. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to deal with this just yet, but for the time being, I can give my dad a working weed trimmer. Just threw some gas in it. Let's start it and see what happens. I did end up having to use the carburetor off of that pressure washer engine because this old one over here, because this one here doesn't have a manual piece here for the choke on it, and I didn't want to really bother with removing this one just yet. So I'm not going to worry about that unless this poses an issue. So let's go ahead and see what happens. It does have oil in it. I might have to use some starting fluid. Choke is in, or out rather. It's promising. Not running as well as it should, but at least it's running. Let me see if there's anything on my end that I can do to fix this. Well, so it works just fine on here. I'll give you guys a clip of that too. Looks like I might have to pull that carb off again and clean it out. As I said before, that is the carb from the older engine, from the pressure washer. And this one might need a new spark plug as well. I haven't checked that just yet. But what I'm happy with is that it does function, be that at about 80%. So this thing's going to need a little bit more work done to it, but at this point in time it is usable. Let's go ahead and start it up again. So I'm more than happy with that. As I said before, it's not running 100% perfect, but sure beats spending over $300 on a new motor. On sale, they're at my local Sears for $350. And there's only a $20 difference in the difference between a new motor or brand new unit with a new motor on it. Which is kind of ridiculous, but that's the game that a lot of these manufacturers are playing nowadays. So I'm very happy that I got this thing working again, and my dad's been really bugging me to get this thing going, and finally I got it going, at least good enough for him to use. So come springtime, when all this green stuff dies out, he'll be able to use this thing. He mainly uses it around the shop over here where I can't get at it with the mower, like right in through here and everything, and along the sides of the walls and around the junk truck. So it's these things work really good for tall weeds. But as soon as I get the puller to pull that flywheel off, I'll make a separate video on how to do that, and then I'll give this thing a nice run through and clean it up and get the carburetor working good. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This thing's powered by a Honda now, and I highly doubt it'll ever break, just as long as my dad remembers to check the oil. So you guys all stay classy. Stay tuned for more small engine videos. Got a lot more on the way.